Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So late last week on Friday, Microsoft pushed out another Canary Channel build for the Windows 11 Insiders, build 25921. So just another video to go through the so-called hot off the presses, as Microsoft calls them, because your Canary Channel is your first point of call in the Insider program. Now, some of these features have already been made available in previous dev and beta channel builds that rolled out over the course of last week. And the first is there are now rich thumbnail previews or tooltips for cloud files on the start menu. And this also made its way into the dev and beta channel insider builds last week, as I did post. So if you are now logged into a Windows 11 Pro or Enterprise editions with an AAD account, Microsoft says they are now providing a richer thumbnail preview when hovering over cloud files such as Word documents under the recommended section on the start menu. Now, Microsoft does say, though, and just as something to take note of, for this initial release, richer thumbnail previews will not be available for all files, and a later update will enable the experience for more files and for more Microsoft account users. So just take note of that. And over and above this, when right-clicking on cloud files, Cloud File Recommendations, there is now an option to quickly share these files, as I did mention last week in other preview builds. And the image we are looking at is an example of richer thumbnail preview when hovering over files such as Word documents under the recommended section on the start menu. And because this is now been featured in the Canary, the dev, and the beta channel, I think these thumbnail previews for the recommended section on the start menu, and there is a good chance that these will roll out to up-and-coming stable versions in the near future. Now, moving on to the next and having a look at some improvements. And this is also a nice move. Chat is now Microsoft Teams free, with Microsoft saying Microsoft Teams free is pinned by default now in this Canary Channel build to the taskbar and can be unpinned like other apps on the taskbar. And Windows insiders who click to launch Teams will also now discover a mini communications experience, making it possible to chat, call, and meet with your people within just a click or two. So chat is now Microsoft Teams free in this latest Canary Channel build. Now, moving on to the next, and this is a small yet I think a nice subtle improvement that will make and navigating between your different desktops a lot simpler. And when navigating between desktops in Task View, labels will now be shown. So as mentioned, these different labels will just make identifying your virtual desktops a lot simpler and quicker. Over and above the labels, there's also new sliding animations, which also now show when you change your desktops using trackpad gestures, touch gestures, hotkeys, and by clicking on the Task View flyout. So there's also a bit of a UI improvement with your virtual desktops. Now, just to go through a couple of quick mentions for the purpose of today's video. HDR Background Support has also made its way now into build 25921, where you can now set JXR files to be your desktop background. And if you have an HDR display, they will render in full HDR. And Microsoft says make sure, though, your device has an HDR display or is connected to a HDR display that supports HDR. And something else to take note of, if you have multiple displays attached to your device, the background will show as HDR or SDR, depending on each display's capability. So obviously with HDR background support, you need to have the relevant hardware for that feature, obviously, to work. And then something else to take note of, and this is a key improvement for this build. Cortana can now be uninstalled in this build. And as I have been posting previously last week, Microsoft is now moving in the direction of deprecating Cortana in Windows 11 and also eventually in Windows 10. And obviously now the fact that you can now uninstall Cortana in this latest Canary Channel build is Microsoft moving now in that direction to finally now deprecate Cortana, because obviously Cortana is being replaced with the Windows Copilot for desktop, as I have posted last week. And then one just a last quick mention for the purpose of this video. It's regarding networking and a new error handling improvement for rpconfig renew. Could cut reload times now from 4.1 seconds to 0.1 seconds. So that's quite a significant improvement there with the rpconfig renew when it comes to networking. So that's more or less what's new in this latest Canary Channel build 25921 that Microsoft rolled out last week on the 4th of August. And that's the hot off the presses features being tested now in the Insider program. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.